Hello there, come on in and welcome to another video. Today's video is the first one in a while, and I wanted to take a bit of time to talk about what's been going on in my world. And while I do that, I hope you enjoy watching me work on this piece I did recently of a nervous little harpy. So first of all, the fact that we're in the dead of winter where I live and the fact that we're about to kick off year 3 of a worldwide pandemic is kind of a lot, and I hope everyone out there watching this video is doing okay, all things considered. The state of things in my own personal world has been pretty good in the grand scheme of things, and I try to remember often how lucky I've been through all of this. I'm privileged to be able to work from home, and I've just been spending a lot of time hanging out here with my partner and our cats, playing games, hanging out virtually with friends as I can, following protocols, and just trying to vibe as much as possible. I hope you and yours are doing okay as well, and that you're taking care of yourself the best that you can. So many of you probably noticed that from July until now, I have put out a total of 1 video. There's a few reasons for that, which I wanted to bring you up to speed on. It actually started back in April of 2021. I was doing pretty well, working hard, making videos and games in my spare time, but then I was let go from my day job due to pandemic restrictions severely tightening the company's budget. I worked in the recreational sports industry, so it's not as though the news was entirely surprising, and the company and my colleagues were really kind and supportive throughout the process, but it still sucked. The 3 months that followed were a daily mix of creating fun new content and also applying for new jobs. Very soon after putting out my second to last video at the end of July, I landed a fantastic full-time job at a local tabletop gaming company. It was kind of funny because I had applied there previously for a different role, but this time the role was actually a perfect fit for me and fell into my lap just at the right time. I love what I do. I get to work with rad people, I get to have a lot of fun creative opportunities and different ways to flex all my different skill sets, and honestly, it's been the best thing that's come out of the pandemic for me so far. Little did I know that soon after that, the worst thing to happen to me during the pandemic so far would slam into me like a truck. Just 2.5 weeks after starting my new awesome job, my very best dog Finnegan passed away. His health had been going downhill since the beginning of July, and thanks to the pandemic putting such a heavy strain on veterinarians, it took me weeks and weeks, including traveling to a different vet 2 hours away, to get tests that I needed to confirm a diagnosis of a deadly cancer of the spleen that would basically risk him dropping dead at any moment. So the day after receiving that diagnosis, I made the heart-wrenching decision to let him go to prevent any further suffering. The following months after that were this weird misty fog and ebb and flow of emotion. My new job was great, and since my days were really busy, it provided a good distraction for me, but the time outside of work just wound up being a slow, confusing adjustment to this new normal, while I had to get used to life at home without my old border collie by my side at all times. And it was kind of weird because my dog was very high maintenance, and without him in my life, I suddenly had all this time to myself to, work on things. But despite that, I just couldn't get myself back into creating for a really long time. Through the fog and the weird feelings, I did manage to get out a really fun collaboration video in November with some of my fellow mini painting content creators, and I had a ton of fun doing it. It recharged my battery a little bit, and I began making some plans for new videos and art for the coming months, moving into the end of the year. But as the holidays inched closer, all of those plans were flushed by yet another stressful episode. As the holidays inched closer and closer, I started to get a lot of emails. In past years, this is pretty normal because the time was approaching that everyone and their sister want a custom greeting card illustration or an art commission as a gift, something for the holidays. Even though I stated back in the summer when I got my new job that I may become unavailable for commission work moving forward, I started receiving some heavy pressure from some previous art clients to do work from them for the Christmas holiday. Even after politely saying no multiple times, citing my energy levels and overall mental health as things that I need to be aware of at this time, some of them resorted to begging and pleading, and I eventually gave into that pressure. That was a very bad idea. because giving in and working on things that I didn't have the mental capacity to work on for folks that weren't really valuing that I was struggling was not good for my body or my brain. I got the work done in a timely manner, and I got it out the door, and in turn, I received a complete creative burnout. The entire experience left a really bad taste in my mouth. It did the favor of reminding me that no matter how great my clients are and what good experiences I have with so many of them, at the end of the day, I'm just a human being doing her best, and if I can't take commissions anymore, that's okay. I don't owe anyone my mental health or my creative energy if I can't give it to them. Anyway, burnout is awful, and December and January were rough on me creatively. I still had a few hobbies I was able to partake in without a problem. For example, I would knit in the evenings while watching TV, which is a hobby I've been doing since I was in high school and have thankfully never burnt out from. Knitting has always been an anxiety outlet for me, and I created some really nice things during that time, but that was about where my hobby and creative time ended. Try as I might, I couldn't bring myself to draw, paint, make any sort of creative artwork or embroidery or anything like that. So all of that bad news aside, the silver lining is that in the past few weeks, I'm finally starting to see that creative light again. It started with doing some lunchtime ballpoint pen drawings in my sketchbook during my work days, and in doing that, I found that I've been on a bit of an interesting journey of rediscovering my style and flow. This tends to happen to me when I burn out for some reason. My style shifts and evolves a little each time it happens. And the piece I'm working on today is a really good example of that. It's quite different from things I've worked on previously. I've also finally gotten back into game development. I'm continuing my work on the Kindling Spirits sequel, and I've also started working on a new weird little RPG for Game Boy Color, which will be a modern fantasy RPG platformer. Game development has become such a creative, valuable outlet for my storytelling, and I've really missed working in that space. In my video hiatus, I've also upgraded my filming equipment to include a high-quality DSLR camera and a fancy new microphone, fresh and ready to help me make content for tons of new hobby and crafting videos moving forward. I'm also trying out TikTok, which is weird and new. I will keep you posted on that. I'm still feeling kind of weird and different about things, but it's nice to be in a place where I can be making things again. That's just what I need right now. So yeah, things have changed a lot for me in the past year in both good, bad, and sad kind of ways. With my new job, I've really had the privilege of being surrounded by a wealth of creative talent, both in my colleagues and in other folks that I've met along the way, and honestly, thanks to that, I felt the most creatively charged that I've felt in years. I'm really excited to finally be able to manifest that energy into new things. And thanks for being along for the ride. I really appreciate all of you who checked in on social media, commented on my videos, and otherwise showed me that you were still here and checking out my work. It really means a lot to me, and I can't wait to show you what I've got coming up next. Thanks so much for checking out the video today. If you haven't already, I would love if you gave me a like and subscribe if you like what you see here, and be sure to follow me on Twitter to keep up with me day to day. I look forward to seeing you next time. Cheers.